Are you looking to add over 1 million horsepower to your vehicle and potentially break through the space-time continuum? This is the Mr. Fusion. Gentlemen, I have been to the future, and let me tell you, it is bright. You guys think you're so fancy with your hoverboards? Well, guess what? I've seen real hoverboards and Nikes that lace up by themselves, and I brought back this little guy right here. This is the Mr. Fusion Home Energy Reactor. So this particular model is quite compact, as you can see here. Now this is a nuclear fusion reactor. Some even say it operates on cold fusion, which I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but they've essentially have solved it in this nice compact home unit. Now, of course, this can be converted to work on your automobile. We've actually recently installed it on our DeLorean, and it works on organic material. You can see here, you know, I'm putting some banana peels and beer in it to make the fusion possible. But, you know, why you might want this is, let's say you're sick and tired of using your plutonium rods. Those get expensive. You know, they make a mess. They're just not the most ideal way to generate the amount of wattage that you desire. Now, this particular model, I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up here, but of course you have a dial. Now, at 0, this is relatively safe. It's not generating any electricity. Now, of course, I've already taken out all the organic material out of this, but this one goes all the way up to 12. So it can generate the 1.21 gigawatts needed to break through the space-time continuum. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there, you know, who say, well, that's not the only way to do it. You can also initiate an overdrift, but then things get really messy. You start seeing dinosaurs. This is a much simpler. It takes a little bit more to, you know, install, because you're not just simply throwing your 240 into an overdrift to break through that space-time continuum. You know, and it does require quite a complex install and some organic material to work. But each one of these, so of course this goes through 0 through 12. Each one is going to be, what's that, 100 megawatts. So you just times by 10. In order to get a gigawatt, say if you go up to 10 or, you know, 12, 1.2 gigawatts. So in theory, this could potentially give you about 1.6 million horsepower added to your vehicle, which is really, I always say this, but this is what should be installed on vehicles from the factory. You know, you've got your 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, even 700 horsepower vehicles, which may seem like a lot. But all, you know, one of the OEMs have to do is install one of these. You crank this baby up to 12, throw some garbage in there, you've got yourself over 1 million horsepower, but I suppose they would have to limit it to 11.
These go to 11.
You don't have quite the energy to time travel, which could get messy, but you could still get, you know, what, 1.5 million horsepower, which is probably more than enough for, you know, your average ordinary sports car enthusiast, I suppose. Now, like I was saying before, the you know, to actually fuel this thing, actually, because we do require safety here, I highly recommend a pair of safety goggles, or you can always use your safety squints, whatever happens to be easier for you and more convenient. But all you do is you simply open this up. Again, you have to be very careful. You put your fuel in here, close that up, latch it, you make sure it's nice and tight, and then of course crank it up to your desired setting, and you're good to go. Now, I would highly recommend you have a professional install this, because you're dealing with, you know, what is essentially a tenth of a lightning strike in power here, and it could easily burn down your DeLorean. I've actually seen people do this where their DeLorean unfortunately has succumbed to a faulty installation, if you will. So definitely, if you have the experience, you can install it at home, but just be careful. You know, I mean, obviously we've installed one on our top secret DeLorean But you know, it's something that I would always recommend taking to a professional just to be on the safe side. But overall, it's very sturdy construction. You can see there, you've got your cooling fins down here, your organic reactor tower. Oh, and then of course you have your voltage controller there as well, should you need it. Now, you can also again use this in your home, like say like you were wanting to power, you know, a small city, maybe 500 or 5,000 setting there would be more than just enough. Or let's just say you're wanting to charge up your supercapacitors at home, just turn it to 1 and that should give you a nice even charge throughout. And it actually is very energy efficient because it does operate off nuclear fusion through organic materials. The waste product is very minimal. You know, you're not having to deal with those pesky plutonium rods or anything like that. All around, it's just a fantastic product. Definitely check it out. Thank you guys for watching, but we're out of time.